Moflex and our feet-first approach to training is based on correcting foot and ankle biomechanics while performing 7 basic movements. When you go to stand on the Moflex, you want to make sure that the feet are lined up in the proper position, trying to avoid things like overpronation, where the ankles roll in, or oversipination, where the ankles roll out. Also looking to avoid internal rotation when the toes may point together, and external rotation when the toes would point outward. Overall, wanting to make sure that through every movement on the Moflex that the feet are in a neutral position. Most important is our first position, stance, making sure that we are putting proper weight distribution throughout the tripod of the foot, wanting 75% of our body weight and pressure through the heel of the foot, and then splitting the 25% through the ball of the foot, which is on the first tier. The next movement is what we call gait, or shall we say walking. We break down the gait cycle into 5 phases, with the first being the loading phase. Here, you can see the left foot in that position, and then you want to hold that position for 15 seconds. Then you'll be bringing the right foot up to the top of the apex of the Moflex, and again holding that for 15 seconds. On the next phase, which we call terminal, we bring the foot down with the toe touching the ground, and now the foot is in the opposite direction on the Moflex. Again, after holding for 15 seconds in terminal phase, you then move to pre-swing, where we will first strike the heel, then place the foot down and hold for 15 seconds. And finally, stepping through the motion in swing phase. The next movement is hinging, or what is also known as bending. Start by placing feet at the correct tier, continuing to keep the back straight, hinge forward through the hips in the bending motion, and then stand tall again. Here, you want to make sure that the hips are hinging backwards in a rocking pattern in order to elicit this motion. Once again, making sure that the low back is stable and that the hips are mobile while hinging down and then standing up tall. The next movement is squatting, starting by placing feet at the correct tier, and for this movement, we're going to hinge the hips slightly, then going to squat down into the motion and stand up tall, trying to keep the back as straight as possible and eyes focused forward, keeping the feet in a neutral position, pointing forward through the movement, because the tendency here is for the toes to turn outward. The next Moflex movement is what we call rotation. Starting by placing the feet at the correct tier and having the feet at shoulder width apart. You are then going to rotate to one side, moving through our legs and shifting our weight laterally, having a bend in the opposite knee and rotating as far as possible, and then completing that on the other side. And next, we have rotation again, but now performing in a staggered stance, which mimics the terminal phase of gait. We will then rotate the body, twisting out and twisting back, again, generating the power from our feet up through the rest of our body. During this motion and stance, the hips should stay neutral in the frontal plane and stay in line with the apex of the Moflex throughout the rotation. And once again, you want to repeat with the opposite leg leading. The The next Moflex movement is pulling. First, getting into a powerful stance through our feet, and with control, bending our knees slightly, then pulling our arms into the body. While on the Moflex, it enables us because we're distributing our weight properly to create as much power as we need to be optimal through this motion. The final fundamental movement on the Moflex is a pushing motion. Again, stabilizing 75% of our weight in the heel with the other 25% in the ball of the foot. Creating a powerful stance position to begin, we're going to push the arms forward and back, stabilizing the abdominal muscles throughout the pushing motion.